So what does a typical data center, enterprise data center look like today? Well, certainly it's not centralized anymore. There's typically assets spread around the globe in different geographies. And certainly there's a lot of assets in the cloud now. It's challenging enough to just manage those assets in the environment. But when it comes to data protection, there are challenges there too. How do you provide assurance that all of this information is being protected appropriately? So with APTARE IT Analytics, we can have a single data collector in each of the geographies for the on-prem locations that will send information to our centralized portal. And we can also collect from the cloud and have that information be collected as well. So in this single pane of glass, we have close to 30,000 data points of information from all of the assets wherever your data and your assets reside. Within that single pane of glass, we can then provide correlation, analytics, and we can show you aggregated high-level reporting, perhaps for executive reporting. Because we capture historical information, we can show you trending, and we can also give you summary level information. And for any one of these records, we can drill down into a detailed view to give you all the hundreds of data points that you need to be able to take action to solve the problems with managing this complex environment. So the backup products that we support, it's all the way from AWS to Veritas and everything in between. Typically, whatever enterprise backup data protection product you're using, we have it covered. It's all in that single pane of glass. It's rolled up together, all in one place. So what can you do with that data, with that visibility? What are the problems that that lets you solve? So one of the main areas is operational efficiency. Are you meeting your SLAs? We have reports that will easily highlight that. Are you identifying the failures that really require remediation and getting rid of sort of the false positives and only focusing on what requires attention? And we have the ability within the application to inspect different backups, to look for anomalies. Perhaps we were backing up this much data historically, and the last 2 weeks we've only been backing up this much data. What was the root cause of that? Somebody probably needs to look into that. It's showing as a success, but is it really a success? So we are analyzing this information to give you meaningful reports that will potentially feed into ServiceNow. If you have ServiceNow, we can integrate to that. We can create those incidents for you to remediate the issues within your environment. And then we also provide the ability for users to log in and see directly just their assets and the protection status of their assets. So we can get the operators out of the loop there, not having to take those phone calls to find out if a user's assets are protected. All right, so what about risk management? That's a very key topic for data protection. Under protection is probably top of the list. You could be underprotected by not having any protection at all. And because we collect directly from all of the infrastructure here, and we collect from all of your backup products, we can show you information and reporting that is not just through the lens of your backup product. And that allows us to identify gaps. So what's not being protected, or what's being underprotected and you're not going to be able to meet your recovery time objective. You have too many incrementals. It's going to take too long to restore. So that's underprotection, the obvious one. There's also overprotection that a lot of people don't think about. With underprotection, you're at risk. With overprotection, it's really cost. And without a product such as APTARE IT Analytics, it's hard to hit that sweet spot right in the middle and be just right protected. And examples of overprotection might be I remember one customer that comes to mind. We installed the product. Within 24 hours, we showed a report that highlighted their development and QA clients were being protected in a policy with 7 years offsite storage. And they didn't believe it. They looked, they found out it was actually the case. And with a click of a mouse, they were able to free up $2 million worth of storage costs that they should not have been paying for. All right, so finally, what about just storage and performance? So we can show you bottlenecks in your backup window. There's a lot of data to protect within that window. Are you using that window efficiently, effectively? We also allow you to report on Ddp efficiency. So many of the assets in this environment may not be suitable for going to an expensive data domain. They perhaps don't dedupe very efficiently. It's really hard to find out what those assets are. So we have a report within our application that will highlight the top sort of offenders with the poor dedupe ratios and allow you to identify an alternative, more appropriate target for the backup of those clients. Orphans we have down here. What happens if you deprovision your backup system but you've left storage that's out on the cloud? Or how do you tie and identify the storage back to its source if you've lost the system that was recording that? Because we collect from the cloud and because we collect from the assets, we can tie those two things together. And if you want to be able to identify what was the source of the content of this S3 bucket, our system allows you to do that, because nobody wants to be the person to go delete something that's out in the cloud when they don't know what it ties back to. So many opportunities from a storage and performance perspective as well to leverage the analytics. So we covered some of the use cases today. There's hundreds of reports in the product. If you don't see one you like, you can easily create your own. To find out more about APTARE IT Analytics, please visit veritas.com/APTARE.